How many times have you given birth?
Given birth 11 times.
Okay. With 11 children?
No, with 13 children.
13 children. 11 births.
Yeah. When I was a teenager, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to be, no, none of that. And then, I don't know what really changed my mind. After I had my first daughter, I was immediately in love with being a mom, and the pregnancy was easy, and it became my life. I wanted to have a lot of kids after that, and I did. I was in nursing school, and one of my fellow students told me that she was going to be a surrogate, and I was like, what's that? I had no idea what it was. She told me, I was like, I could totally do that.
Okay, so we need to coordinate your cycle with the donors.
Mm-hmm.
We'll look at your schedule, we'll look at the donor schedule as well, and we'll try to accommodate your schedule as best that we can.
Okay. I'm going to do a sibling project for Richard, who's the single dad that I carried for last year.
So the things that we're going to do today is we're going to do a pap smear, cultures and things. Did you have your blood test yet?
No, I have
Okay.
no. Caring for a gay man was not an issue at all. It was actually more of a draw. My mom is a lesbian. I grew up in a lesbian household, and it was something I'd seen other surrogates do before, and I thought, wow, yes, I'd like to do that. I'd like to be a part of helping him have a family that he could otherwise never do by himself. We would just chat, and he started calling me his sister, and I became part of his family. And I would write to him about nothing surrogacy related, nothing pregnancy related, because we just became friends and we just talked about things like friends do. Anything about pregnancy, or it was all new, and it was exciting for me because it's, old hat for me, but watching him learn, and the sparkle and the face, and it was really neat.
So once again, we're going to select one or two of the best, healthiest embryos, and then at that point, the embryo transfer to you. The embryo transfer doesn't hurt, doesn't require any anesthesia, as you're aware. We're just going to gently take a small catheter and put one or two embryos inside.
I had blood work done and urine testing, and I had an ultrasound, a saline ultrasound of my uterus to check to see if I have any cysts in my ovaries, to make sure that the lining of my uterus is clear and without polyps, and that everything looks as it should. And this old girl has a beautiful uterus. That's what Dr. Kolb said. It's pretty magnificent, actually. I feel amazing. I'm in better shape and feeling better about myself than I was when I first started having babies. And so I've been able to help 3 different families have the children that they always hope for. And I have my own children as well. I love being able to be pregnant and I guess populate the earth. My first time being a surrogate was great at first, and then about halfway through, the relationship kind of fell apart. I don't really know what happened. I can only speculate that the intended mother was not quite ready to deal with having a surrogate and an egg donor. She was an older mother, and our relationship fell apart. And then after the hospital and the baby being born, they left, and I never talked to them again. So then I decided, I'm like, I know that that's not what surrogacy is about. And I said, I have to do this again. And I called the agency. I said, I can't leave on this note. And they matched me up. I became great friends with the couple that I carried for. They lived about 30, 40 minutes away. We would go and visit. My kids loved them. And it was very healing for me. And it went as I expected and wanted a surrogacy to go. It was magical. The delivery was amazing, even though it was a cesarean. We kept in touch afterwards. I saw the babies, and it was really great. When I first did it, my kids, let's see, it was January of 2005. So my oldest was just 7. Basically what I said is that, Bonnie's belly was broken and couldn't hold a baby. And so I'm helping her because mine isn't. Something simple to that. And she's like, okay. Yeah, that was that. It was kind of cool for my husband when he learned I was going to be a surrogate. He thought, wow, okay. And so we went through the process, and we decided that we did not want to have any children. He had a child already from his previous marriage, and I had the 4, and we're like, that's enough. So we were able to experience the intimacy of a pregnancy and childbirth and bond and become closer, but then not have the baby at the end. And it was really neat. You're not giving up a child, you're giving the child back. They gave the child to you as an embryo to take care of and to grow. And when you give birth to that child, you're giving it back. I'm like a babysitter. I've been just babysitting for 9 months.
Because we're doing a new cycle, it's been a little bit, we'll go ahead and have you do your consent for surrogacy, okay?
All right.
These 2 you know that you've done before in the past. You're going to go ahead and sign there under surrogate. You'll initial on the bottom of every page. Basically, the consent is that you are coming, you'd like to be a surrogate for your intended couple. It's explaining your medications, that you agree to take the medications. Also, 2, it talks about psychological risks, financial responsibility. As a surrogate, you have none. Yay!
Right.
I like that.
People think that surrogates are like welfare women who are just desperate for money, uneducated, just baby making machines. Like what, that movie Baby Mama, she's just a dingbat. And it's so insulting. It is so insulting to surrogates, because if you really sat down and got to know, if you went to one of our Facebook groups and talked to people, college educated, we make a living, we're not, as a matter of fact, you can't be on government assistance and be a surrogate if you're doing it through an agency. Of course, there are people who go through the cracks, but as a general rule, you have to have your head on straight. You have to be psychologically sound. You have to be physically sound. It's serious. It's not a joke that is portrayed in the media.
I'll go ahead and see if there's anything else Christy wants to go over with you.
All right.
Other than that, good luck to you.
Thank
Look forward
you.
to your cycle. Good job.
Exciting! You need to be surrounded with people who are supportive. I've seen surrogates who have family members disown them for being a surrogate, not just for being a surrogate, but being a surrogate for gay parents, where they just could not wrap their heads around it. And so if you're going to do something so huge and so impacting, you need to have people around to support you. So it's not just something, that you just decide to do one day. You really need to think about it. I never thought I was meant to be a surrogate, but now that I've done it, I'm like, I might just be a waitress, but I'm a surrogate, and I'm very proud of it. That means I'm making a difference. I'm helping people achieve their dream. Oh, I'm getting teary. I don't know, it's kind of being a part of a miracle. And I feel very lucky and privileged to be a part of that.